Guys, welcome to the I Love CVille Show. It's Jerry Miller. It's good to be with you on a rainy Thursday. A pleasure to connect with you through this platform. We love to showcase the journey of entrepreneurs and people that are doing well by the Charlottesville and Central Virginia community. Today's guests absolutely embody those qualities. We will welcome two fabulous co-founders, the visionaries, the brains, the hustle behind Charlottesville Direct Primary Care in a matter of moments to the program. Lindsey Neal, Downey in the house. We're going to showcase a model that I think is going to get some significant momentum in the community. We'll tell their journey of how, first they got into medicine, their journey as moms, as wives, as business women, and then we're going to get into the nitty-gritty, the X's and O's of running the business here on the I Love CVille Show. Of course, you can interact with the program by liking, by sharing the show. That will undoubtedly get more attention to our guests and their business. You can ask questions in the chat boxes or the comment section of any of the 12 Facebook pages that you're watching the show on. Just like John Neal has said, he said, thank you for the shout out, Jerry. Anytime, John. Our pleasure. We are an advertising agency here at VMV Brands, so we'll thank two of our fabulous clients. We've worked with both these businesses for I think about 8 years now. Interstate Pest and Service Companies first to start. Anything that you see from a marketplace standpoint across the Commonwealth, Central Virginia, Richmond, Charlottesville, originates on the first and second floor of the Macklin Building here on Market Street with our team. Interstate started in 1969 with the first generation of the business, Mr. Robert Wells. He used sweat equity, just like Lindsey Neal and Downey are doing right now, to build a company. He also used his personal truck. He would go to his first customer, service them successfully, and then go to the closest payphone in 1969, call his second customer and say, can I come to your house now? Today, Interstate Pest and Service Companies has almost 100 employees, has a Commonwealth-wide working footprint, and is undoubtedly making the community better through their social entrepreneurial mindset. Same with Dr. Wagner. When we started with Dr. Wagner, it was one doctor and 2 chiropractic assistants. Now it's 6 doctors and a team of 30 chiropractic assistants. He purchased the former Quinn Farmer auction house. Dr. Wagner, through chiropractic care, sports medicine, and physical therapy, is changing people's lives. Who's got your back? Dr. Wagner's got your back. Olivia Shockey says, yay, Lindsey, congratulations. Give it a like and a share. Judah Wickhauer, you're the director, my friend. Let's go to the studio cam and let's welcome the ladies to the show. Good afternoon.
Hello.
How are you guys?
Great for having us.
Good.
We're so happy to be here.
We're excited to have you here. Udo, you're going to have to help me with this name.
Udo
is watching right now.
That's
Stacy
my husband.
Morgan. Okay, Udo, hello. Welcome to the program. Stacy Morgan watching the show right now. 3 states watching the show right now. Why don't we start open-ended? What makes you guys tick? Anyone can go first here. I'll get out of the way.
You're kind of pointing at me.
Yeah? You want to go?
What makes me tick? I like to have control over my own life.
Okay.
That's what makes me tick.
Would you say you're a control freak?
No.
I'm a control freak.
I'm not a control
You're
freak,
not.
but I like to have control over my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
and
that.
So this allows me to have greater control over my life.
Okay. I'm excited to spotlight the business. Before we do, I want to spotlight you.
Oh, great.
Wife?
Yes.
I'm
Mom?
a wife, mom.
Okay. Tell me about what you love about Charlottesville being a wife and a mom in our community.
So I've lived in Europe for 16 years prior to coming to Charlottesville. I've been coming to Charlottesville for 24 years. I'm one of 5 siblings. All 5 of us are now relocated from New York to Charlottesville. And so I've been coming here intermittently on vacation over the last 24 years. And then 3 years ago, when we were ready to come back to the States, I said, there's only one place I want to live, Charlottesville. So.
What do you love about Charlottesville?
For a small town, it has so much to offer.
Amen.
There is so much culture, politics, nightlife, food culture. It's a really great place to live.
I love it. I love it. I'm excited to get your chutzpah and energy on the show over here. You bring it. Same questions to you, Lindsey.
Yep.
What makes you tick? Danielle Lee says, my favorite doctor in the world. Hooray.
Wow.
Which is you right there. Before we get to the biz, talk to me about you.
Yep. So, what makes me tick? I think that the thing that makes me tick is connecting with people. And I get to do that in my job every day. But I'm a triple who.
Nice. I'm a single who.
Yep.
So you tripled me. Okay. Triple who how?
Yep.
Tell me.
So, undergrad,
Okay.
UVA,
Uh-huh.
architecture.
Okay.
And then med school.
Okay.
And then family medicine residency
Get
at UVA.
out.
Yep.
How does an architect get into medicine?
Right.
Great question.
Yeah.
So, It's very similar. It's a little masochism involved, both very hard and work all night around the clock kind of studying. But I finished architecture. I loved architecture, studying architecture at UVA, but it was very artsy and very design focused. And so when I got into the real world and started like really working in the business, I realized that it wasn't going to satisfy that connection. And so around that time I had gallstones and ended up with my gallbladder out, and I realized kind of it all came together, and I wanted to go to med school. So started the process at that point.
So would you say you both are overachievers? I mean, is that safe to say?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah?
Yeah, probably a little of the controlling of
Yeah?
achievers.
A little of controlling?
Right.
I mean, you said no.
I'm not controlling.
Were you being genuine on that?
Yeah, I'm being
Okay.
genuine.
She's straight up embracing it. Dude, I am the biggest control freak in the world. I mean, I really am.
I don't know, maybe you should ask Lindsey this question.
She's controlling?
She laughs at me because I go in her office and I close all her jars.
So you're a little OCD.
Oh, a little of both.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Of the mindset where it's like, look, I'm just going to do it myself
That's right.
because you want to get it done?
Exactly.
Is that your mindset?
Heck, yes.
How do you manage that? You could say hell yes. I think that's what
I was
you're
going
going
to
to
say,
say.
heck yes.
Heck yes, okay. HE double hockey sticks,
right.
yes? Okay.
No.
Your time at UVA, was
Yeah.
it great? How do you look back on it?
Yeah, so mixed,
Yeah?
for sure. I mean, I came back to Charlottesville, love Charlottesville, and UVA's done me well. I am not complaining about UVA. I had an absolutely wonderful medical school experience, and my residency. Anyone looking at family medicine residencies out there should definitely look at UVA because it was a wonderful family type experience. So
Okay.
UVA has been good to me.
How did you guys, let's just cut to the chase.
Yeah.
How did you two, because a business partnership in a lot of ways is harder than a marriage.
Yep.
You guys are essentially married here.
Yeah, we are.
How did you guys meet? Give us the nitty gritty.
So
This is like the love story here.
It is, and it's funny because I went to interview at a different clinic when I moved back here, and I met a woman, Cindy Richards, and months went by. I hadn't seen her. I just met her that once, and then we ended up having a mutual patient, and I talked to her on the phone, and she had left to start a DPC practice, and
Direct primary care.
direct primary care.
Okay.
Sorry,
She's Hearthstone Family Medicine. She's in Ruckersville.
And so we got together, and then a week later, she said, "Oh, I have. There's this wonderful doc, Lindsey Neal. I think she's really interested in direct care. Would you take her? Go have coffee with her?" And so we did. We connected, and we did. And I saw Lindsey across the parking lot, and I said, I want her as my partner. So yes,
Love
You
at first
saw her
sight.
come-
it was. Yes.
We had talked on the phone already,
Yeah.
so we already knew that we connected. And we just are we are very similar in our practice style and kind of what we want, and so it worked out great.
But it was
Same-
a leap of faith. Of
Yeah.
course, it was
And
a
I
huge
think-
leap of faith.
Yes, sorry. I think we both are really skilled at communication too, and so
Okay.
I think that that's been really helpful to build a relationship to build this business on. So
You guys are finishing each other's sentences. Have you I mean, I'm sure you've been told this before.
We spend a lot of time
You spend
together.
how many hours do you guys spend together a week?
Like 40, right? Ish.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I say this all the time. So he is my right hand, Judah Wickower, our director. I spend probably more waking hours, much to the chagrin of Judah, whether he likes it or not, with him, and he's rolling his eyes. I don't even have to tell, but he's rolling his eyes. More hours with him than I do my wife. And my wife actively works in the business. She's at home. She has our 18-month-old on one knee and the computer on the other knee, and she's doing project
Way to
management.
go.
She is a rock star.
Rock star.
Like my superhero.
Like
the,
many women doing that. Yeah.
The sun of our family and my son and I are like the planets in the orbit where she's the rock.
Yeah.
Where I'm going with this is, and why don't I throw this to you first?
Sure.
Lindsey. Launching a business while being the son of a family, like being the foundation of a family, that is no easy task.
I can even top that.
Okay. Please.
So
Oh, yeah.
part of where we ended up opening this clinic was, thank you, was last year I donated a kidney to my husband.
Shit.
Yes. So the last couple of years have been impossibly difficult. And after the surgery and after we had gotten through it and kind of things were starting to like calm down, like survival wise, I kind of realized that like, you know, my bullshit detector kind of was going off too much, and I needed to make a change. So it was kind of like the pinnacle of my burnout with my previous job.
Let's cut to the chase.
Right.
Yeah.
And so and so that kind of led us to me kind of jumping and taking the plunge for DPC. And I'm so glad I did, because it is awesome.
So you had a life-changing moment that was kind of like the influence for launching this business?
Life
you're
is
like,
short. Life
don't
is
take
so
life
short.
for granted.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah. I told you I could top it.
Yeah, you beat mine by 1,000. Jesus.
But it also having had that experience really helped me be a better physician, hands down. Because just being like, I could, throughout that whole experience, you know, there were things that could have been better during the experience with the health system, and you know, I could tell I was getting special treatment because I was a physician, like having gone through that, like the workup for the kidney to donate.
Because you could hold them more accountable, the process?
I just understood. I knew that I trained at UVA.
Yeah.
I trained, I knew the system really well from inside and from experience, you know?
That's kind of amazing, but also kind of crappy at the
What do you
same
mean?
time.
What do you mean?
And that like you're getting more special attention than the average Joe?
Yeah, well, so I wouldn't say that I had special attention. It was more that, you know, they knew how to communicate with me in a different way.
Understood.
But my point is like my husband, he had me as a partner to help translate everything that was happening. And so then when we got home, like I could be the one telling him like, oh no, you have to do this. No, you can do this. And like being a partner with him. And so now when I talk to patients who have like complex chronic illnesses and they come in and talk to me, like I can be their partner with the specialists and having like, you know, being involved in the current healthcare system. Even though we as direct primary care doctors don't take insurance ourselves, we're still part of that bigger arching healthcare system. Does that make sense?
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
I'm picking up what you're putting down. I told her, Amy Carter says, you're my hero.
Yay.
I love you. Your man says, undoubtedly, my hero. Give it a like and a share on any of the streams that you guys are watching. Kathy Garu is watching right now. Kitty Was.
From England.
She has a question from England. She's watching right now. We actually have people watching in 3 different countries and 11 states watch now.
Nice.
Anne Delaney is watching right now.
Yep.
She's giving you some props. I'm going to throw the same question to you. Launching a business from scratch. How many kids do you have?
2 kids.
2 kids. Husband?
Husband, 2
Hell
kids.
of a lot on the line.
Yeah.
I started this business as a single man. Not as much risk.
Yeah.
You have a ton of risk.
Yes, I also have a super supportive husband who
Okay.
was able, you know, to pick up the slack and has allowed me to do this, because it would have been a lot harder if I didn't have that.
I love it. I love it. So let me throw this and you guys both
Same.
jump in. You guys figure out the plan to be partners and launch this company. Walk me through that journey.
The text.
Yeah. Was it like a massive text chain that was started?
No. Lindsey just texted me, let's do it.
I'm in. Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yep.
And you responded?
Awesome.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah?
And then it just started this whole process of like, you know, finding a space and, you know, all of the build-up.
Yeah, we have great support. There's a Facebook group for direct care docs, and we just depended on them so much. They were the ones who have been they've gone through it, you know, for the last 8 years, and they are so giving with their experience and information, and so they really helped us to come up with a plan, because neither one of us are business people, so we had to learn it from the ground up, and that's.
So the direct primary care movement started around 2010-ish.
Okay, so we're getting into the model now.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Yeah, no, go. I love it.
So by some frustrated and innovative family docs kind of in Kansas, around...
More in the mid-states.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the
they-
Midwest.
Yeah, Midwest. And
Okay.
they decided that they were frustrated with the system and wanted to figure out a different way to give primary care.
Okay.
So essentially, direct is means it's the payment model. So you're paying the physician directly, essentially. So so by paying a monthly membership fee, you get full service family medicine, unlimited for however long that you need it. So
I'm going to unpack this for like the layman. Bill Stern
Yes.
says, very impressive.
Nice.
Go, Lindsey, go. Here's the business model for the folks that are watching.
Yeah.
You have a little over 5,000 watching now. The X's and O's.
yeah.
Okay. You pay a monthly fee.
Yep.
And that monthly fee, correct me if I'm wrong, $50
For children,
for 21 and under.
Yep.
$80 a month, and that age range is
For 22 to 64
22 to 64. Then the next level,
is 65 and up to 100 is 100 a month, and if you're 100, it's $1.
okay. And essentially think about it like you guys have taught me, like a Netflix type model.
Yeah.
You pay that monthly fee, and you get unlimited access to you ridiculously smart ladies.
Yep.
Is that right?
You're board certified family practitioners.
Okay.
We're just like every other family practice.
Okay.
People always think like, well, what's different? Like, tell me the catch,
Uh-huh.
but there is no catch.
So the businessman in me is trying to unpack this. The reason the price points are so affordable is because you're taking out the middlemen. The middlemen are the insurance providers.
And all the people you have to pay to
The
process.
admins, the receptionists, all the other people on the payroll.
Gone.
So you've trimmed the fat off the payroll. You've made the payroll extremely lean, and then you took out a middleman in the insurance providers that create red tape and bureaucracy and unnecessary headaches for patients.
Yes.
And as a result, you're able to pass that savings on to the patient. And as a result, you're able to give patients more time. And instead of it being a patient factory, it can get back to what medicine's supposed to be,
A patient
which is
relationship.
a relationship.
Right. It's relationship-based medicine. That's what I say.
This seems like the smartest thing in the whole freaking world. Okay.
It's a new way of doing old-fashioned medicine.
Right.
That is what it is. It's
Right.
not like this, we're reinventing the wheel. This is how it used to be.
It's like when the doctor used to previously go to your home and have that relationship with the people in their house. And as you said prior to the show, the doctor would come to the weddings.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. 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 Everybody that's watching this program, Charlottesville Direct Primary Care is the business. Okay, so let's talk about launching the company. You need to find a space.
Yep.
Oh,
Walk me through
we got
that.
lucky there.
Walk me through that.
Well,
okay, go.
We looked at a bunch of places.
Okay.
I had been looking at a bunch of different spaces before finding Rebecca.
Okay.
My husband happens to work for a property owner in town. But we ended up landing at Tarleton Square, 2
Okay.
blocks from here.
Okay. I love
But
it.
what is funny is, though, I had always said I want to work there
Okay.
in this little
Yeah.
old-fashioned, because Martha Jefferson used to own those, and they were doctor
There's
offices
a bunch
Uh-huh.
of doctor's offices.
in the past, and then the docs left and went up to Pantops. But I always wanted an office there, and Lindsey always wanted an office
Stop
there.
it.
Yes,
That's like serendipitous.
I know.
There's lots of coincidences.
I mean, outside of like the work wife falling in love from across the parking lot as you guys are walking to each other, you guys have always wanted the same spot as well?
Yeah.
Anything else like that? Because that's kind of freaky, right?
Yeah.
Our birthday's a day apart.
Yeah.
What? Birthdays a day apart as well? When you're signing the lease
Yeah.
on the space, talk to me what's going through your mind. That's always an
was
exhilarating
nothing.
and terrifying moment. It was not terrifying
There
at
was
all?
no fear.
It's so
Really?
exciting, yeah.
Really? How about
We were ready.
exhilarating?
Totally
So
exhilarating.
exhilarating.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, seeing the space be built up was exhilarating. Yeah, and
And-
it coming together.
Yeah, because it was a gutted space, essentially. So we had to make a bunch of decisions about design, which I deferred to Lindsey as
Okay.
the
We
did it
architectural
together.
person.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
we basically, we wanted it to not look like a doctor's office. We wanted it to be a place where people felt really comfortable and, we're not
So
held.
not something that's like sterile and
not
unapproachable.
sterile at all.
No,
Exactly.
Yeah.
We wanted it so, and I've had many patients comment this, that when you come in, you see us,
Uh-huh.
So it's not like,
Somebody
like
behind a
white
glass.
walls, you know, like you
Yeah.
come into the office and you see like pictures of my kids on the wall. You see like our a quilt that I made like on the little table. So
Local artists.
Yeah, so you get a little piece of us when you come. So
What is the
it's a relationship.
day-to-day?
It goes both ways. The
I love it.
relationship, Yeah.
I love it. What's day-to-day look like?
It's dreamy. It's so great.
It's dreamy.
We come in
Wow.
smiling.
We're so happy.
Yeah. Okay, then here's a better question then. How does the day-to-day look like now versus the previous model when you're essentially like slaves to insurance providers?
Well, we have hour-long appointments,
Okay.
essentially. Before, we were spending much less than that with each patient. We assume a 60-minute appointment unless the patient says no, I don't need that long, So.
Allie Snyder giving you props.
Hey,
Jane
Allie.
Rose, congratulations. Lindsay and Rebecca. Danielle, I'm a complex chronic patient of DPC, and I'm so lucky to have them helping me. Folks in Crozet, Richmond, Charlottesville, and now 13 states watching. Brent Jacques, welcome to the program. Lauren, my wife, is watching right now. Mrs. Miller, this sounds very bright here. We should be listening very closely. Okay, walk me through, and we're not going to be hating. We're positive people.
Yeah.
Walk me through what a primary care provider, like a doc, has to do that is still stuck in the insurance model. From being able to see patients, from filing paperwork, from time spent with a patient versus you guys. So what were you doing previously is my question.
So I didn't handle as much of the paperwork, but because of insurance companies, we were always having to sign off on pre-authorizations, and which was incredibly time-consuming. And it was more the pressure to see so many patients, or if I'd write a prescription, because there are so many different insurances out there, and I don't know which insurance allows which inhaler for which patient, and so I would write a prescription, it would get kicked back, I'd have to, go back to the chart and re-prescribe something. So all that is kind of gone. We don't have to worry about that.
In some ways. And, we have the vast majority of the patients that come to us have insurance.
Okay.
And so
Then why would they come?
Well, so that's a great
Besides you
question.
guys being rock stars.
Well, people who have really great insurance, the reason they come to us for customer service.
Okay.
For better access. I have a whole list here.
Okay.
Easy access. They can call, text, email us
Teleconference.
directly, like
Teleconference.
telemedicine. Like our whole goal is to have a relationship and continuity with these people, so that when things come up, and they don't have to necessarily come into the office, like we can manage it over the phone. Like our whole goal is to know people so well that we can make it easy for them,
So in that scenario, that particular circumstance, that individual is paying the monthly insurance and also your monthly fee. Okay, so how about the person that has no insurance coverage?
Well, so we recommend everyone, of course, have catastrophic coverage. We don't want people to be having a new cancer diagnosis or appendicitis or a car accident and then be, left without insurance. So we have to say, but there are other options other than just insurance. There are several health sharing plans that we can talk people through if there's options. But we're not turning anyone away. So if they don't have insurance and they don't want to pay for it, then they're going to have something with us.
Love it. What do you think,
And then we're
Rebecca?
also going to spend a lot of time working on transparency and cost reduction. So we're going to work with them on how to be efficient with our spending, health spending.
Okay.
Does that
Yeah,
make
so
sense?
even if people have insurance,
Yeah.
whether they don't have insurance or for all intents and purposes now 50% of the population has what's equivalent to catastrophic because their deductible is so high. So even if they
That's
have
me.
So even if they have insurance, a lot of people are avoiding going to their physician unless it's absolutely necessary. And that's not great for us either, because then we get patients in crisis. So so I would say the majority of people kind of fall into those two camps. So this way, by paying, a pretty reasonable annual or monthly fee, they have wonderful health care, which
for
is
a lot less than their deductible.
Yeah, and every time they go, if they're paying out their deductible, maybe 2 visits they'd get for what it would cost them to see us and have real healthcare. So that's a huge shift for the patient, and patients love direct care. I mean, they absolutely adore it.
So I saw my primary care doctor when I was within my deductible price. I saw her for one visit, and I got a bill 2 months later for $250.
Right.
And that would have covered 2.5 months of unlimited visits. I also want to remind people that even when you're in your deductible, when you're out of your deductible and within the out-of-pocket cost, you're still going to pay copays. So you're going to pay copays every single time you go see your primary care doctor. And I was looking at the marketplace plans just yesterday because it opens up tomorrow, November 1st.
Right.
And so when you look at the plans, they each list, copays for primary care visits, and some of them were $40, which would be half of a 1-month visit for one visit. Sorry, half of a 1 month of service from us for one visit. So just people initially have a reaction when they hear like, oh, well, I'm paying all this premium and then I'm going to pay more out of pocket. Well, what they need to remember is that ultimately, like if you look at the whole year and all of your healthcare spending, you're actually going to pay much less out of pocket. And our goal and our
mission statement,
scrappy kind of like work every day is to try and talk to people about how to best reduce their out-of-pocket costs.
I love it. I love it. Bob Yarborough says, thank you, I Love CVille, for providing this forum, for sharing this really cool discussion. I'm learning right now. You had folks that are walking by the studio. Andrea Massey, I just walked by.
Yay.
I love you guys. Jamie Dillow, I love you, Doc, so much. Commenting on the program, give it a like and a share. If you have any questions, put it in the chat box like Kelly Whitley. So proud of you guys. And I'll pass it along to the docs. All right, let me throw this to you here. The challenges of growing the business. Because, cut to the chase, you guys went to school, architecture, then medicine, medicine.
Just medicine.
Okay. Did not necessarily go to school to start and launch a business.
Yeah.
Right.
Is that safe to say?
Very safe.
Okay. So how about that hat? The challenges of launching the business up at this point. You're 7 weeks old. Is that right?
7 weeks.
7 weeks old. This business is like 7 weeks when we had our kid was a very difficult part of our life with my wife. So this business is just figuring it out. Okay. Throw that question to you. Challenges so far.
The biggest challenge for me has been tech, because I'm a Luddite. So that has been the hardest part for me, and probably very frustrating for Lindsay. But I mean, really, that has been the hardest part for me. It's really learning the processes, the things that we kind of gave off to the nurses and the administrative staff to do is what we have to do now. So, you go through residency and you learn all these skills, and then you become a physician. You never use them again. We drew blood all the time in residency, and Lindsay and I hadn't drawn blood in a long time. So now we do all the blood draws. We do the processing. We had never learned to process blood, so we're doing all the lab work. We do the EKGs, whereas before the nurses did the EKGs. So just having to get those processes down and get them to go more quickly has been my biggest challenge.
Do you like that stuff?
I'm never comfortable in the process of learning it.
Okay.
But once I've learned it, it feels really good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's a skill, and I love having skills.
I love it.
Skills are good.
You were like, are you the textbook overachiever?
He already asked us that once.
I'm asking again because
I
she's giving
guess
clear
so.
signs that she is. I know.
so.
I can totally tell.
guess
That's
so.
why I asked again. Challenges for you. Because in a lot of ways, from what I can tell, and I don't want to assume, that's why I'm asking this question. You are in a lot of ways like this is a sports analogy. The Derek Jeter of the New York Yankees, the evangelist or of the brand. Getting the message out there, let's face it, she's got a ball of energy over here.
She is
that safe to say?
energy.
I like the scrappy entrepreneurial aspect of this. I loved designing and building out our space. I love sharing what we're doing. I love the social media part of it. And that's generally all the marketing we've done so far has been social media.
You did a phenomenal job of being persistent and hustling this interview. I gotta give you some props. I have never seen anyone be more persistent to come on the I Love CVille show. I think you probably sent 20 emails, and I can search by the Gmail. Maybe that's a bit hyperbole. It was a lot. Is that safe to say?
We recognize the
look at
service
this.
you bring to the community.
She is so good at managing perception. Like, you do a great job of managing
really?
perception. That's what the whole thing we do here in advertising is manage perception. You do a hell of a job with that.
Sure.
There you go.
Props. All right there.
I am giving you props. That's big time props. I do not say that about many people here. Sarah Hill Buczynski and Crozet, welcome to the program. Dr. Tickle,
He's our
Tickler
neighbor.
as well. Dr. Neal and Dr. Downey, you guys absolutely rock. He's watching the show right now. Give it a like, give it a share on any. There's a lot of effing people watching right now. Okay, throw this to you here.
Ask us questions, friends.
Okay, yeah. If you have questions, well, here's a good question.
Yeah.
This is from someone in England.
Okay.
How do you see the American system as opposed to the British one? Is the U.S. going to take over our wonderful national healthcare system? We fear this. This is from Kitty.
Yeah. I wonder what Kitty fears. Okay. So I had the experience of living in 2 countries with universal health care, in England for 5 years and in Germany for 11 years. So I kind of see both sides of it, and it's a huge issue in the States right now. I personally believe in health care for all. I'm not as comfortable with Medicare for all because I feel like all the things that drove Lindsey and I nuts about working in primary care with the layers of bureaucracy will just be multiplied by 10. So that is kind of my personal fear.
I agree with that.
Yes. However, we must have health care for all in this country. How we get there is going to be the big question, and I think that might have many different models. And certainly, I would like to think direct care is going to become a bigger and bigger part of it. It's an exploding movement, and so I think it's a great answer for great health care in this country.
Which country, so I was literally having this conversation with my brother. He travels overseas constantly, and he was talking about healthcare in Germany. And healthcare in Germany is healthcare for all. But the model in some ways, he says, is broken in that it takes forever to see a doc. And then oftentimes the doc you're seeing is not like either the most qualified or most interested into the patient, him or herself.
Yeah, it's not when we hear people talk about Medicare for all or healthcare for all and talk about other countries that are doing it, it's kind of put on a pedestal, which is not really the reality of what happens on the ground.
Ooh, I want to hear about this.
Because there are real problems with it in terms of access, in terms of how long you get to spend with your physician. They're very generally extremely short appointments.
Right.
They also don't have the legal constraints that we have here. Like, you can't sue a physician over in Germany or England the way you can here. It would never happen. So unless there's tort reform in the United States, I don't see how we can have healthcare reform in that way. So those are some of the real challenges that happen. But at the end of the day, having health care for everybody, even if it's not perfect, is better than having so many people fall through the cracks here. So, that's kind of where I land on that.
It's kind of similar to what we're doing, like especially for people who are falling through the cracks of the current system here and don't have insurance or choose not to buy into the marketplace for whatever reason, or can't afford it. We're gonna give them some sort of medical care. We're gonna take not some sort of. We're going to give them excellent medical care, without using insurance. So.
Which country do you think is doing it best?
Well, I've only lived in 2 of those countries, but between England and Germany, I would say Germany does it better.
Yeah? And do you see, and you've already touched on this, ways it can improve?
Well, there's many. Tort reform for me is crucial. Having models like ours where patients, are vested, they're part of, they're willing to spend a certain amount of money, and then they could have catastrophic insurance. And, for young, healthy people, that's usually what you're going to need, right? And so then you're part of that system, you're paying into that system, but it's not these astronomical amounts of money that people just can't afford.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then pharma reform, just the cost of medications, which is not the case in Europe. The cost of medications are so much cheaper in Europe.
Give it a like and a share. We got some comments coming in here. So Lindley Harding Stakem, good friend of this program, she says marketers manage perception and change behavior. She also says, hi, Lindsey, and congratulations. Jay Fennell, this is a great segment. Thank you for launching this healthcare model and using the show to get it out there. This is extremely important for everybody. Danielle, is it true that traditional physicians really are only allowed 6 minutes per patient? That's a question that's come in now twice by two different people. Why are we being seen such short amounts of time? And I think that's a matter of a business, right? They just have to, it's a patient factory, right?
Where's the graph?
Where is the graph? J-Dubs, will you get that graph from my desk over there? This graph speaks 1,000 words here. Yeah. Why don't you start putting the graph into perspective, and then I'm going to show it on screen.
Sure. So there was a big change in healthcare in the mid-1990s, a few years before I graduated medical residency. And so what happened was we started with electronic medical records, we started with HMOs, the medical markets consolidated, the ICD codes, which were initially billing, like they were diagnosis codes, and then they became billing codes. And then a bunch of regulation happened from the government, and also the insurance companies started throwing in their own regulations. So over the course of less than 30 years, the number of doctors has increased just a tiny bit, but the amount of increase in middlemen and administrators is 36 times that.
Go to the one shot here, Judah, so I can show this graph, please, sir. So there's two different colors on the graph here, and this graph starts in 1970 and ends in 2009. The gray graph, which you see up here, is the increase in admins tied to medical practices. And the dark graph here is the nominal increase that you see in doctors entering the medicine field.
Yes.
Okay, so obviously what's happening here is there's a boatload of admins and peripheral staff, is that safe to say, that are coming into medicine, and very few doctors that are coming in. Why are very few coming in, do you think? Well, besides the student loans.
The government controls how many physicians are trained and how many residency spots there are in the country.
That is so ridiculous. I did not even know that.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes.
The government controls how many people can become doctors?
Residencies in the United States.
Why would they limit supply when demand is obviously so high?
Because
with baby boomers becoming sick.
It costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to train a physician over time. So
this system is so effing broken. This is so ridiculous.
Oh, you have no idea.
Oh, I'm learning. I had no idea. Yeah. I literally had no idea.
Yeah.
So this is why people are paying astronomical amounts for insurance coverage.
For example, we haven't even touched on the pharmacy, pharmaceutical issues in the system. But for example, to reference my husband's kidney transplant last year, he has to be on immunosuppressive medicines because of the transplant. Well, one of the medicines that he takes, tacrolimus, he recently had his employer-based insurance changed, and so he called for his refill, and he was told that it was going to be $900 a month for his month's supply, right? So Rebecca and I, in our scrappy entrepreneurial ways, know all these little tips and tricks to find lower cost medications. And one of them, I looked it up, and I could get it through our scrappy tricks for $60 a month.
What?
Right. What? Mind blown. This doesn't make sense. And so I'm asking all of my DPC colleagues, I'm like, what in the world is the deal? Why? I don't understand. It's too big of a difference that I don't understand.
Is it strictly to make money?
It's just money making.
That is so effed up.
Because everybody in that graph is getting a piece of the pie.
Of course.
Right? And so, there you go.
So, and the crazy part is that each different pharmacy charges a different amount of money. Each different insurance company charges a different amount of money. So what we're trying to do for our patients, since we're keeping our patient panels really small, is to use that relationship to help people utilize the system. I have a couple who come to me who don't have insurance, but they are very savvy in the system, and they are teaching me so many different ways that I didn't even know of before of how to reduce costs, especially when it comes to medications.
And we do know a lot of the tricks of the trade.
Yeah.
We've been in it, so we know how to navigate that.
We're using our knowledge of the system to work the system. system.
So you, on average, are spending an hour with a patient?
At least, yeah.
Okay, so we're getting this question coming in. What more can be done in an hour versus, say, the 15 or 20 minutes that I'm getting with my current doctor?
This is great.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times that we get to like the real issue at minute like 52.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
All the time.
All the time. And like furthermore, like one of the goals of our practice is to like get to know people so we can actually work on like lifestyle changes. Like we can work on weight loss, we can work on quitting smoking, we can work on nutrition, we can work on sleeping. You know, all of these things that you don't really get to do and talk about with your regular doctors.
We got some people tuning in that are watching now that are loving what they're saying. They're asking to go through the price points again.
Okay.
Sure.
And I'm going to save this in an email. So you have $50. So basically, Charlottesville Direct Primary Care. I'm going to do it as a layman. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys are a hell of a lot smarter than me. Charlottesville Direct Primary Care. $50 a month.
For kids.
Is for 21 and under.
Yep.
$50 a month. Think about it like the Netflix model. And under is 21 and under. Okay. The next level is
22 to 64
Okay.
is $80 a month.
80 per month is 22 to 64.
Uh-huh.
Okay. The next one.
65 to 99 is $100 a month.
Okay.
And if you're 100,
100
we'll
or
charge
better.
we'll charge you $1.
$1 a month.
Where did you get that? Just because
It's a
like
DPC thing.
what's the explain that to me.
No.
Just if you make it to 100, you should get some perks, right?
Yes.
Perks, and also when you get to 100, you know, sometimes we actually try to do things like take certain medications off, and
Oh,
you know,
we're
like
doing that
you
for a lot of
know,
people.
So
But yeah,
What is the best?
it's just cool.
It is.
We like 100-year-olds.
All right. Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Who
they're
doesn't?
very interesting to talk to.
Give me, and I know you can't say names or anything like that. Give me the best firsthand testimonial that each of you have experienced, where you've interacted with a patient, and this patient has been like so grateful or happy or like, I mean, I'm sure you get this constantly, but give me one of the best, and I'll throw that to you first, Rebecca.
So I had a patient who burst into tears when she heard that I was leaving my previous practice. And so she followed me to my current practice, and pretty much every time I see her, she cries. She's just so grateful that somebody listens to her, takes her seriously. She's kind of housebound, so I end up doing most of my appointments, or so far all of my appointments, at her house. And it feels so real and wonderful, and I'm so glad that I can do that for her.
I love it. How does that make you personally feel?
Awesome.
Yeah?
I love it. That's why I went into this, you know, to help people to use what I've learned to help them. So
Yeah.
when I can do that, that's great. I get gifts all the time from patients. I had a patient yesterday tell me he had always hated going to the doctors, and he said when he met me, he was so grateful. He just adores coming to me, and it's the first positive.
Did that get you choked up?
Yeah.
It's getting me choked up over here. I mean, I love it. I mean, for us with this business, my favorite things is obviously we have to like run a business in the black to keep the business going.
Right.
My favorite thing is getting like the Christmas cards or the invitations to our clients' weddings. And it sounds like that is like same with you guys.
And when you spend an hour with patients repeatedly and there's no rush,
Yeah.
you get to know them
You're building a
really
relationship.
well. Totally.
I mean, because they're telling, in a lot of ways, when I go into the doctor or anyone goes into the doctor, we're telling our doc
The most personal,
things
intimate
ever.
stuff.
Right. Yeah. So it's like as much physical for me as it is in some ways therapeutic, and that like I feel like I'm getting stuff off our shoulders.
Yeah.
And like the trust aspect and the fact that this person will take it to the grave. Certainly hope so. Is just like fulfilling.
And you're not going to have that if every time you go to the doc, you're
You see
being
somebody else.
seen by different people.
Yeah.
You're gonna close up. You're not gonna share the fact that you might be drinking too much, or whatever it is that's going on in your life. That's you're not
I
gonna
didn't tell you
do
this.
it.
How did you know that?
Well,
I just
I
fucking
suspect it.
around.
I've been doing this a while.
70 hours a week of work will do that to you. Same question for you, Lindsay. Let me throw that to you.
I have so many.
Please.
It's really hard for me to pick one, but I have this patient that I just started taking care of when I opened the practice. She text messaged me actually yesterday morning, she text messaged me yesterday morning. She had a laceration on her arm. She's like, "Do I need a tetanus shot? What do you think? What blah blah blah?" And I happened to be at Bel Air Market yesterday eating lunch, and she walked in. She's like, "Doc, hey, look at my arm." And so I like looked at her arm. I'm like, "Oh, you're fine. You don't have to worry about it." But then she's like bragging to like everybody in the whole Bel Air Market, like, "This is my doc, y'all. This is my doc." So that was really cool. Yeah. Another patient who called me on Monday and said, "Hey, can you tell me how much it costs out of pocket to come see you?" And I said, "Have you looked at our website? Let me tell you about our model." And I told her everything about it. She got off the phone. She signed up. An hour later, she was in my office. I saw her for 2 hours. We addressed a bunch of different things. And then she signed up for our HIPAA-compliant text messaging service that we provide to our patients. And I bet you that we have text messaged 30, 40 times since then.
That's a direct text message to your cell phone?
Yeah.
HIPAA compliant.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so HIPAA compliant means that no one else is going to be seeing this besides the doc.
It's secure on both ends.
Okay. Okay, that is
And so-
amazing.
yeah.
So are you getting text messages like at?
No.
Okay.
If you take care of your patients,
Yeah.
they appreciate it, and they respect you, and they respect your time. So when we need to text, we text, but I am not getting inundated with
People
texts.
are not taking advantage at all.
I love it. We
Yeah.
got Sarah Hill-Buchinsky, good friend of this program. I love this model. I had a concierge primary doctor 15 years ago that spent the time to figure out a complicated health issue that several other doctors and specialists had given up on or said I needed lifelong medication to manage. I wish this model would become more common. Put the insurance companies out of business, please.
I do want to differentiate between concierge and DPC because
Okay.
they are not the same, and this is like a point of confusion for a number of people.
Okay.
So with concierge, they accept insurance and they're getting paid by your insurance, plus they're charging usually a quite hefty fee on top of that so that you can have that access to them, okay?
So they double dip.
So her comparison, I think what she's saying is the sense of intimacy and relationship.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's what we can offer, but we're doing it at a price point that most people can afford, as opposed to concierge, which is exclusive instead of inclusive. So we're trying to be more inclusive of the vast majority of people.
Anything you want to add? I'm getting more questions on the price points from people that are just watching. So I'm going to give the price points out again, which I think are extremely important. You guys are going to get some patience. $50 and under. It's $50 per month. Charlottesville Direct Primary Care. They have a website and a Facebook page. Think about it like Netflix, a monthly fee. For $50 and under per month, they will see $50 per month. They will see 21 years old and under.
Yeah.
For $80 per month, they will see 22-year-olds to 64-year-olds. For $100 per month, they will see 65-year-olds to 99-year-olds. And when you hit the century mark, the C-note mark, it's costing you $1 per month out of pocket, which I love.
And we have family plans. So
Okay.
if you have a family,
tell me about the family plans.
Yeah. So if you have, we have a max of $225 for a family. So you can get a discount if everyone signs up.
So $225 per month is the entire family, no matter the size of the family.
We have a max for, I think, max of 4 kids and 2 parents. So.
Family plan.
But if you have a family larger than that, just call us and we can
4
figure
kids
something out.
And 2 parents.
I also want to mention with health shares, HSA accounts, and this is very, very new. You can actually use your HSA dollars to pay for your direct care membership. So that's tax-free.
Yeah. Okay, so when people are dumping money into an HSA to minimize tax exposure, they can use and leverage their HSA account for these monthly fees.
To pay for the membership, and that is very new in the last couple months, and that was a bunch of direct care docs lobbying our government to make that happen. Because when the original legislation was written, direct care didn't exist. So it was kind of a gray area, and so now it is legal to do that.
We have a question coming in. We have a lot of real estate agents watching right now, which is a very key customer demographic for you guys because they're subs. Dan Pettit from Real Estate 3, has anyone asked on any of the Facebook pages if doctors from other countries have to go through residency, again, similar to the United States of America?
I think they do, don't they?
Not
Their
sure.
med school, we're not expert we're not experts on this, but I'm pretty sure that they
do have to go through residency.
that their medical school, they're different from us, where we do an undergraduate degree and a medical school degree. Those are combined in other countries.
James Watson has a question. James, love you, baby. Is it possible that you may find yourselves needing to expand with more doctors, as there's a lot of potential to get super busy, as you all know, especially after this show? That's a good question right there.
Yeah.
Well, we thank you so much for
That's
that
the
comment.
scale question.
Yeah, the scale question,
Yeah.
which is when Rebecca and our plan is to limit our membership. So we're going to max out at a certain number in order to be.
Businessman and me is like, but I totally get it.
But
Because
once
you
we
want-
max out, we'll have to make some choices
About whether
we open a second clinic,
Yes.
or whether
Bring on
we
other
hire
people.
another
bring on another
doc.
doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're only 7 weeks in, so
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
We
No,
love
let's
the
crawl before we run.
optimism.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's going to happen. That is going to happen. Don't you think that's going to happen?
I absolutely think it's going to happen.
We manifested this show.
Yeah. I don't know if you manifested it. You were like a woodpecker, persistent as all get out, which I respected. I totally
emailed
respected that. I was
one
like,
time.
oh, no, you did not email one time. I literally.
I think it
did a
was
search.
twice.
I
Did
think
you?
I
Did you-
emailed once, I
Rebecca,
Facebook
did you
message
send
once.
any emails to me?
No.
Not yet.
I had other people saying this about you guys too. Sally was one of them. All right,
Yay.
let's stay. We have a lot of questions coming
Sure.
in as well. We can keep going. We don't have to stop at 1:30, unless you guys do.
No, we're good.
Okay, Michael.
See, that's the thing about being the boss.
Yeah, you make your own schedule.
We blocked out our schedule.
Right. I love it. So I'm super excited for both of these amazing doctors and their new endeavor. I know them both personally and professionally.
Who is it?
Michael Corbett,
Oh, yeah.
giving you some props right
Hi,
now.
Michael.
KT Sullivan,
cool.
my rock star stepdaughter, Dr. Downey, watching right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to highlight some of the people that are watching. Kelly Clark is giving you guys some props as well. Give some props to some people that are watching. They like to hear their names on the show. Michael Carnathan. Did I say that right?
Yep, he's a
Bet-
DPC doc.
Bet Pennick, Ed Brown, Lou K. Berkeley, Jane Rose watching the program, Karen Thompson, Aaron Levang, Dale Williams, Karen Lynn. People want to know, where can we find more information out? That's a good place. Where's a good starting point?
Start with our website, which
Okay.
is Charlottesville Direct Primary Care.com.
Okay.
We can connect you to a lot. If you're not in Charlottesville and you would like a direct primary care doctor somewhere, go to the DPC Frontier website and look at the DPC mapper. We can find you somebody local. We are connected with DPC docs nationally, so if you really can't find anyone, we can find someone for you.
We got a question coming in, and this is a really good question.
Good.
How did we get into the position last year where healthcare was so expensive for all of us living in Charlottesville? Layman's perspective, and throw it to you. Wasn't there only one insurance provider in the
Yeah.
market, and
Another
then they
one
got a
pulled out.
monopoly?
Yeah.
Another one pulled out.
Yeah, so they pulled out, and then we were stuck with one.
Okay.
And so they could charge whatever it is that they wanted to charge. So
And they want to know, did your model come as a byproduct of that situation? Throw that to you.
our model has come as a byproduct of what has happened on the ground in primary care, and kind of, and I won't go negative,
Yeah.
but
Be real, though.
the misery for docs, the misery for patients, and feeling like I definitely had to do it a different way for myself and for my patients.
There's a lot of controversy. I mean, honestly, like the people who are anti-DPC will say those kind of things, that we're taking advantage of this bad system that's happened. But
That's not taking advantage.
No.
That's
I
feeling
think
an
it's
opportunity.
progression. It's
Yeah.
progression. I think it's what primary care will ultimately end up. It's like car insurance.
Yeah.
You know, like you buy car insurance for catastrophe, for car accidents, but you pay out of pocket for your maintenance and for any small things that develop along the way. So
Do we see this infiltrating or penetrating like the dental space? I know you guys.
not our expertise.
But
But
three
other-
people talking out loud.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
could talk about other specialists are doing it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
cardiologists are doing it.
Optometrists.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I know about in town we have a cardiologist doing it. Christina Beauvais is doing it.
We just got this on the stream. Is it Maura McLaughlin?
Yes.
Has a similar practice in Crozet, Blue
She
Ridge
sure
Family
does.
Practice.
Yep,
She's
we got to
terrific.
give
Yeah.
some shout outs to a few mentor DPC docs. Maura McLaughlin is one of them, and Lily Hargrove, and Cindy Richards.
Yeah.
So,
Finish your thought.
yeah.
I lost my thought.
Oh, the cardiologist?
Oh,
Yeah.
so there are some specialists that I think this is really well suited for, because, with specialists, you're dealing with chronic issues. But you never know when that chronic issue is going to rear its ugly head and become unstable. So it works really well for those models. And, then if we can kind of have set prices with some of those other DPC docs who see our patients, that would be terrific. So
I love it. A lot of people saying, guys, you can find more information. I'll do the price points one more time. And then we'll put the price points in the package. So when we archive the story on ilovecville.com, we'll include a link to their website, and I'll make sure these price points are on the package. So $50 a month, it's like Netflix, gets 21 years old and under medical coverage with these geniuses. $80 per month, like Netflix, reoccurring, 22 to 64 years old. $100 per month, 65 to 99 years old. And if you hit 100 years old, it's $1 per month. They also have a family plan, which is $225 per month. And the family plan is a max of 4 kids and 2 parents, so 6 people. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, Charlottesville Direct Primary Care website. Go there.
Yep.
Go there.
I do want to say in our practice, we, primary care can cover about 90% of what most people need. So primary care is essential to this country and to our patients. And so we also do GYN services. We don't do OB services, but we do GYN services. We do, basic dermatology, basic cardiology.
And there's a bunch of point of care labs that we include in the membership fee. So you're getting a lot of value. Come meet us. Come talk to us in person.
Oh yeah, people can just email us up from our website and come look at our clinic and meet us, because we feel like it's very important that you connect. Every doctor has their own personality. Every patient has their own personality, and you have to make sure that works.
We're getting this question, and I know the answer, but I want to ask it anyway. So we can go to you for not only primary care, but you guys can help us manage your prescriptions as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Absolutely.
And in fact, sometime just after the beginning of the year, we are going to be dispensing medication out of our office wholesale.
Yeah.
So we get it so much cheaper than you can get it in the pharmacy. So
because you buy in bulk?
Well, because we buy in bulk, and because we're buying generic, and because there's no middleman.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we get it for significantly lower costs. So there's that aspect of it. There's also the aspect of compliance for our patients. If we know they're going to get it cheap and they're going to get it there and they're going to walk out the door with it, they're much more likely to take it. Most prescriptions that are filled are not actually finished.
Right.
So there's that aspect.
Because of the cost.
People will save their membership fee just in the cost of their medicines that they will get from us wholesale. So we are super excited about this wholesale pharmacy. And I keep telling people, you're going to want to be a patient of ours when we go live with our wholesale pharmacy.
I love it. When's that happening?
Probably
the
right
goal is
after
January.
So Q1 2020?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's when it's going to happen?
Yeah, Virginia has a lot of hoops that we have to jump through
and
in order to be able to do it.
We've had a lot of, there's been so much to learn doing this from the ground up. It was like one big thing that I couldn't tackle right then.
Yeah. We've negotiated contracts with the labs around town, so we're going to get people low-priced wholesale lab prices as well if people will choose to pay cash for them instead of utilizing their insurance. But those are all the cost reduction, transparency discussions that we're going to have with each person every time we see them.
Louise Long has this question for you. My husband needs to go get colonoscopies on the regular. Do you have the relationships in place where we can come see you and then have the recommendation made to a specialist? Oftentimes for stuff like that, you have to get it from the doctor.
This is a great point, because if you have insurance, you can still utilize your insurance for all those things. So we write the referral to the gastroenterologist, and then the gastroenterologist, you pay for that with your insurance, but they're billing. So we don't have to worry about that. But absolutely, if you have insurance, you can use it. You're just not using it with us.
This is a good follow-up to that. Sorry, Lindsay, go ahead.
I want people to know that we are going to be we are going to be patients' partner within the system. Okay. Like that person has a chronic illness where they have to go and see a specialist a lot of times. They don't get but 15 minutes with their specialist, and they're talking to them as they're walking out the door. We're going to get copied on the note, and then we can translate that into a daily life with a chronic illness. Like we want to partner with people.
Love it. Sarah says, do you recommend that your patients have private health insurance?
Always.
We recommend that people have catastrophic coverage.
Yeah, catastrophic. I don't think I'm going to be able to get to all these questions that are coming in here. This is what we're going to do because there's so many questions. We're going to take a lot of the highlights from the show and include it into the details that are on the package that are archived on ilovecville.com. I'm going to put a link to Charlottesville Direct Primary Care so you guys can go to the sources themselves and get those details. I think you guys are going to blow the hell up here. I'm just letting you know. We're not going to be able to get to all this. I know it was more than 2 emails. Wasn't it more than 2 emails?
It was only 2.
Are you sure it was only 2?
Oh, you know what it is? I called in when Sally was here.
Yeah, we comment on your stuff.
Okay, maybe that's what it was. Okay. Well, you guys are great. We just filled 65 minutes.
Wow.
Flew by. You guys were awesome.
Flew by.
Yeah, it did fly by. It absolutely flew by. This is impactful. I think you guys are prime for incredible success.
Thank
and
you.
the best kind of success where you like make the community better.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's like you can like, and that's what we try to do here. It's like run a business for profit, but do it in a way where your footprint is left better than when you first arrived.
That's right. We're not in this to make a bunch of money. We want to pay our bills and we want to take good care of people. We have a mission to like connect with people. So
people can see Lindsey Neal and Rebecca on Sunday at the Charlottesville Heart and Stroke Walk.
That's
yes.
right. We're going to have a table.
Team Charlottesville Direct Primary Care.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Guys, I am not going to be able to get to all these. Sharon Swiss West, welcome to the program. We're going to archive the show. I got to finish the show. I got to run a business over here. You guys are amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
You're
you.
amazing.
That's great. Thank you for coming on the program.
Yeah.
Guys, this is the nitty-gritty for the program. I'm getting the price point question again. All right. I will give the price point question
50,
one more time.
80, 100.
Yeah. 50 a month, 80 a month, 100 a month, or
Age-based.
$1 a month, or $2.25 per month.
It's all on our website.
It's on the website. So for $50 a month, if you're 21 and under, you get coverage and care from them. For $80 per month, that is 22 to 64-year-old. 100 a month, 65 to 99-year-olds. $1 per month for 100-year-olds plus, and then there's a family plan of $225 per month. That is a max of 4 kids and 2 parents. We will take today's program for all those that are asking, and we will archive it on ilovecville.com, the show from start to finish. We will take the audio, if you don't want to watch the visual, and turn it into a podcast on iTunes by COB, Close of Business Today, so you can stream it to your car, put your earbuds in, and just listen here. There's game-changing perspective on today's show, especially if the budget's tight. We will syndicate today's show on 17 Facebook pages, 17 Twitter accounts, put it in an e-newsletter that goes out to 108,000 inboxes every morning at 11 a.m. We have the 3rd largest Instagram community in Central Virginia, and of course we'll put it on ilovecville.com and on iTunes. We close the show the same way every single time. We ask everybody that's watching the show to embody the golden rule. We do not make this about religion. We just make this about treating the people in your life how you want to be treated yourself. The golden rule. My name is Jerry Miller. It's the I Love CVille Show. We are back tomorrow at 12:30 with Emily. Let me make sure I have Emily's last name right. She is the founder of The Front Porch, Emily Morrison. She's going to join us on the program to spotlight what The Front Porch is doing.
Great
and
place.
It is a great place. Cool. We also have a real estate show at 10:15 tomorrow, Real Talk, powered by Keith Smith, Yona Smith, and the Yes Team Realtors. Enjoy your afternoon and follow the news because I think trick-or-treating is being moved to tomorrow because of the weather. I have a kid that wants to get his costume out and hit the street. Well, my wife does because he's 19 months old, but she wants to see him in the costume. I think it's happening tomorrow, so follow the news closely. Take care, guys.
Wow.
Crushed it.
Yay.
So good. Seriously.
Thank you
so
fun.
much.
Fun.
Yes.
It was absolutely
It's
fun.
awesome.
One more thing we got to do. We got to get the hero photo.
Okay.
We're going to do that over here.